So
I agree.
And it might even get a little wilder because now we're going back to the world of rock, and we're going to talk to a guy who I'm sure has not only seen it all, but quite possibly has done it all. Legendary drummer from the band Jufria, London, the Hollywood All-Stars, and somehow even Ike and Tina Turner, Mr. Alan Krigger. Alan, welcome to Totally Driven Radio.
Good to talk to you, Bay, and everybody else out there. It's a beautiful day here in Southern California, and I want to give a shout-out to Sam Kinnison's anniversary of his death. God bless him. I even drummed with him the last 6 months of his life, and I had a nice, pleasant thought about him today. What a great guy he was. But anyway, good talking to you, buddy. How's everything going out there?
Good. You know what? Wow. Is today the anniversary of Sam's death?
Yes, it was, and I went to even his wedding with him a week before he was tragically killed, actually, and it seems like yesterday, but what a great spirit he was. He was one of the best, one of the best and kindest guys you could ever meet. And when he died, I was really at a loss for a long time. I was so sad for a long time.
Yeah,
but,
you know what? I remember when I heard that Sam had passed that morning, I guess it was probably the next morning that it broke, I was actually in line to buy tickets to see Kiss play a club in Philly.
I was actually supposed to be in the car with him, but I had a rock and roll league, and we were in the championship series, and he just came back from his honeymoon, and I said, Sam, because he was driving his Camaro across there, and with his new bride, and then and I said, I'll just see you when you get back, brother. And I heard the news in the bowling alley there, and it was awful.
Wow.
It's awful. But God bless you, Sam. You missed. I love your brother.
Right on. Right on. Well, I got it. Like the one thing, like I never knew about you was Ike and Tina Turner. Like, where did that and how did that come about?
I came about when I moved to Vegas back in, I was a East Coast boy, New York and Florida, and then I moved out to Vegas to go visit an old girlfriend back in '72, and then a year later I got with Ike and Tina by calling the Hilton Hotel. You had phone booths back then, and
right.
putting the change in the machine there, and then calling the Hilton Hotel and asking for Ike's suite, and then they I was asking for Ike Turner, and then he connected me to his suite, and then I got hooked up with one of the band members, and it just so happened that Soko Richardson, the drummer for 16 years with them, was leaving to join John Mayall's Blues Breakers, and I got an audition with him that night, and I was with them the last 4 years. I started the album, I did the last album with them, Nutbush City Limits, actually.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
It was, and I played with Ike the last 4 years of his life. It's actually a pallbearer. If nobody knows about this, the first rock and roll song is archived from Dick Clark to be Rocket 88 from Ike Turner in 1951. So he's considered to be the father of rock, actually, the first rock song.
Wow. Now, being around, I mean, me personally, like, not being, like, a big fan of Ike Turner or knowing much about Ike, knowing more about Tina, but the things you would always hear about Ike is, like, how the relationship of him and Tina, and supposedly, he was, whatever, he beating her or whatever it was, or just a mean, nasty person towards her. Did you see stuff like that going on, or was it a crazy situation to be around, or?
No, it kind of, like, got blown up in the movie. He had a bad temper and stuff, but I never saw him do that in public, and if it happened 4 times in their 20-year relationship, it didn't show another side about Ike, that what a great music teacher he was. And at the time, he signed his rights away because he was actually incarcerated then for cocaine abuse then, because he had a problem with it. But but nobody even knows that his first line of coke was given to him when they opened up to the Rolling Stones. His first line of coke actually was given to him from Mick Jagger, actually, and it didn't show a lot of other things in the movie. I mean, it didn't show what a great music teacher he was. And actually, he taught Tina he molded her how to sing and he molded me a lot, and I learned so much from the guy, and I have a lot of respect for the guy, you know. So it's different for me, and then he was just portrayed like uh, uh, beating up the women all the time like that. No, like Tina, it wasn't like that. I never saw it like that. He was always in his studio, Bollock Sound, recording. There'd be Little Richard coming in. There'd be all the Gap Band. I mean, Chocolate Khan would be popping in, Sammy Davis. You never know who'd be popping in that studio all the time. You know, Paul McCartney was sending him new drum machines at the time that was unheard of in those days, and everything else. It was incredible. Yeah, it was great.
So, I mean, you were around the biggest names in the business young in your career, early in your career.
I was very blessed with doing that, and it comes from just determination. Anybody who wants to play, I wasn't thinking about it. I started playing when I was a very young boy, and, you know, drummers are a different breed. You have to be kind of born with being a basher, I guess, but most of my best friends are drummers, like James Kotak with the Scorpions, Wild Mick Brown from Dokken. He's with Ted Nugent now, and even those two guys are my best friends. And it seems like it's a different bond with drummers, actually, than most of your other cats.
So then after the whole Ike and Tina time playing with them, where did you go from there?
After that, then I had a little disco band, because it was still a disco era after it was Ike and Tina in '76, and then that was short-lived, and then I started with Beach Boy Carl Wilson in '79. I was with him for 4 years, and even did two of his solo albums, one with James Guercio from Chicago fame, and then one album called Young Blood with Jeff Baxter, producing the Doobie Brothers fame, Steely Dan. And then, a little break, a little lull, and then we started... Then we formed a new revised Angel, and then when we got signed with Andy Johns producing us and stuff, then a couple of the Angel guys wanted to sue us for Greg using the name, so our singer said, let's just call the band Jafria, and that's how that band came about. And then that was like 3 years, and then shortly after that I started with London in '89 when Nader DePriest, our singer, called me in to record a song that their drummer was having a problem with the click track, and then that led into me recording the whole London Play Adele Rock album, and produced by Richie Podler of Steppenwolf fame and a bunch of other big guys. So, and we reunited with London after 22 years, and it's up and running again now, and we're playing great. We played the Hard Rock a couple months ago at Leader Ford. We just came back and played Miami 2 weeks ago, and we got a lot of things. We're going to Europe. In Europe this summer, and we even have Chris Holmes even guest slotting with us, playing with us as well over there. So things are up and coming, and then also 2003 I started the Hollywood All Stars with Vinny Appice, and it was actually after the Great White Fire, and the manager of Great White asked me to put a band, all-star band together, open up the show for that, and then that led into still an ongoing band after 10 years, 11 years now already. So that's what's going on in my life, and I'm blessed to be playing better now than ever, and I feel great.
That's awesome. Like, now going back to like the Jafria days, like how was that? Like when that blew up. I mean, I remember that song just being all over the radio at the time, Called It a Heart. I mean, it was, and I said early on in the show, I remember I was like 14 at the time, and I just remember hearing that and instantly saying to myself, this tune is a freaking hit. And I still say the same exact thing to myself when I hear it today, because they play it a lot on Hair Nation, on Sirius.
Yeah, I hear it a lot, and I wish that band would have stayed together a little bit longer. We had a lot of magic with that first lineup with Goldie, Chuck Wright, David Isley, and Greg and myself. And when we first formed that in '84, that lineup, because Greg and Dave had tried for a couple of years trying to get a record deal, but when we came in and started playing around in the rehearsal studio, it was like magic immediately. And then 1 year anniversary, when we were opening up for Deep Purple a year later on the Perfect Strangers tour. So our first show was even opening up for Deep Purple, and then we had to tone down our show with them, or we were going to be kicked off the tour because Blackmore didn't know that we had so much hard rock in us too as well, because they thought we were a mellow band with a hit called It a Heart, but we had another harder edge, with our band. We had to take out song "Turn Me On." Greg had to take out his guitar solo. They even said my G looked too much like DP on the drums. You know, it's like I was like blown away with just how Richie was bitchy. You know.
Wow, I mean that's pretty crazy. Like,
he was. It was crazy. It was unbelievable. He had to throw the fight. You know?
Well, I mean, and how long did you guys tour with them for?
Actually, we played with them January, February, March, and then we even left them 2 weeks early to go on with Foreigner had their first #1 song. I want to know what I want to know what love is, and they had the choir in every city, and then we did 3 months of that, and then we went over to Japan and headlined on our own, and then Chuck and Greg got into a fist fight there. We were headlining in Japan, and pandemonium happened, and a couple of egos flared up, and then there was the demise of Jafria, actually, you know. So, and then we did another album with David Sykes and Lanny Cordola, and another album. So the next album is '86, Silk and Steel, but it didn't have the spark, you know, and
right.
The edge was lost. And it was just so hard. I mean, you work so hard, you know, to do something in your career, and you get with the right guys and stuff, and then you get there and it all explodes. It's really
which do you think was what do you think was a bigger downfall of that band? Was it the member changes and stuff like that, or do you think it was like with the record company pulling back, like pushing you guys, or both?
Yeah, well, like I said, I think it was more because of a couple of egos, and it kind of exploded. When that happens, you have two key band members leave the band. It's a big chunk out of a band. You know, you throw 2 new guys in, but if maybe we had a little counseling or something, and you know, maybe the grievances could have been, you know, eased. You know, because Chuck went on with Quiet Riot, and then Dio started with Dio after that too. So it kind of like every deal, the other 2 guys, you know, they got with something right away, and then it was just too. I guess even Chuck went back with Greg with House of Lords afterwards, you know. But it was, you know, they patched things up and stuff. But life, you move on with time and stuff. But it was a great band. It was just too bad it didn't last a little while, you know, with that first lineup a little longer. You know, it was a great. It would have been some great things, I'm sure, that would have came out of that band, you know.
Now,
but life
you
goes on, and we're doing some great things with London, actually. You know, so it's keep your eyes and ears out for London. It's getting very exciting. We got this new guitar player, Chris Sanders, he played with Lizzie Borden for a little bit, and he's added a major spark to the band. And then we got Billy the Fist on bass, and me and Nader, we got the band we got the whole lineup is feeling right now. So we had a great response there in Miami. It was actually 2 weeks ago tonight, and we had 800 jacked up people. It was incredible.
Nice. How excited were you when Nader got hold of you to like put the band back together?
Actually, it was at the right time and right place, man. It was. I said, let's go for it again. And we originally had Brian West and Sean Lewis on guitar. We got back together a couple of years ago with Sean's a guitar player and lives in Nashville, and he's an attorney now. And Brian's got another business in L.A., and his wife doesn't really want him on the road too much anymore with us. He can't, you know, too many other curricular activities are going on with girls and everything. Some things never change, brother.
Yeah, well, it's the rock and roll business. You know, is it supposed to change?
No, it's what it's about. You know, I mean, it's still having it's a lot of freedom if you do express it in rock and roll. It all comes out on stage when you have freedom. Let yourself go, baby.
Now, what do you guys?
Also being a professional. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, what do you guys got planned coming up? Any? Are you guys going to do like a full length album or?
We have some things that we're rehearsing on stuff now. We do have a live audition. We just did we're selling them at our shows and stuff right now, but we do have plans. Because now we just got our lineup all intact. We're just going to be concentrating on some live shows that we got going in Europe and this summer and stuff. And I know we're playing in Illinois at the end of next month, and just have a couple of little things between now and before we go to Europe. So I'm sure we'll be recording something after we get back from Europe, and then something new and exciting.
Now, has London ever been over to Europe?
Never, no. I've actually, no, I take that back. Actually, we were there in last December. Actually, we played Zurich and Germany a couple of shows, but they were just little club dates. So I'm sorry about that. I just spaced out on that part. Yeah. But
I would imagine. I mean, it'll be pretty well received. It seems like over in Europe, the bands from that genre, that day and age, are really truly loved over there, appreciated more than here.
And then last Friday in L.A. there was a big a release on the old Decline of the Western Civilization Part 2, which London was featured in. The panel there was with Penelope Spears. The director was acknowledged, with the Film Institute and stuff. And Nader was on the panel with Ricky Rocket and Ricky Rackman and a few others. And so I guess there's even some more stuff coming out of that movie now. So I guess they're re-release on that movie. So that's something anybody hasn't seen in London, they can see our singer in that movie. We burned the Russian flag. We were in the Cold War then.
As a matter of fact, I just saw the other day, I think it was like on Facebook, he posted a picture of the flag. He still has it.
Yes. The infamous flag.
That's funny. Now, Penelope should do a part 3 and do a Where Are They Now and go back and revisit all the bands from the second one and all the people as well.
That would be a good idea.
To try to track down the people that were on that were just little cameos of whoever they were. Your everyday people trying to make it.
Yeah, Poison was in that, and they had clips with Steven Tyler and Joe Perry talking, and Ozzy's in the movie, making breakfast and talking about rock and stuff. But they had a lot of appearances, with Pastor Pussycat and Odin and London, and like I said, and a few other bands. But actually, there was a little more about what was going on in the 80s there on the LA Sunset Strip scene back then. It was actually a great era then.
I mean, can you imagine, especially for a band like Odin, where, he was so hell-bent, I'm going to make it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's nothing else than me making it. And now you go back, 25 years later, it's like, well, what happened?
I know. It's that. Yeah, Chris Holmes is in the movie, and he's just guzzling vodka, talking to his mother and stuff. You know that. It's kind of odd to see him playing with our band right now too. And he'll be making an appearance with us over in Europe. And actually, we during the NAMM show here in January, Chris rehearsed with us, and the guy still rocks, man. I was blown away, man. He's shredded, man.
I've been seeing because him and his wife, I guess they finally they moved over there to Europe, and then he's playing with he's playing with a band over there. Yeah, and I mean the videos I'm seeing of him on stage. Yeah, I mean the guy he's still got it. He's still a monster on stage. He's just awesome. Yeah, if you have some passion for it, you know what? Then you just stick to your guns, and you know what? The rock never leaves you. So I'm actually playing better now than ever. So I mean, I feel blessed, and I do work out a lot and stuff. But you just have to have a lot of dedication and heart for it. It's I know it's in my blood forever. So right. And it feels great. I still have a major passion for it. It's incredible. Now, I wish we still had that 80s groove back again, but we've had a couple of weird generations with the rap and everything else. It's kind of blown me away a little bit. I thought the rock would be getting back a little bit more now, but it's still very strong in Europe. It's
still in America here, it's still like a little bit of a lull, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. It really is. Like that. I mean, over in Europe, it is like so much more appreciated and loved than over here. You know, people are still like, you know, very, I guess, you know, I don't know, rap or hip hop focused.
Yeah, yes. You know, I mean, I appreciate Kanye and you know, and Jay-Z and all that stuff, but the generations, 2 generations here have fallen away from the rock for some reason. I don't know. It's terrible. Yeah.
It really is. Now,
no.
I mean,
well, I'm
you're a
glad
person
you're still keeping it alive.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Now, a person like yourself who like started early on in your career, like playing with Ike and Tina, and going on to the rock side of Giuffria and London, and you're playing with the Hollywood All Stars, and now you're into the modern day. I mean, now it's 2014, and it is a whole new world. I mean, you're somebody who has really experienced, you know, multiple generations of the 70s, 80s, 90s, and now the day we're in now. Did you ever think it would come to this, of what it is, like,
no,
where
I
it's
think
just...
it would come like this fast, well, especially with the social media. Social media is like incredible now. I mean, it's amazing. You know, I mean, back when I was hustling, we still had, you know, have a pocket full of change. You know, running around going to phone booths and stuff. You know.
Right.
And now everybody, you know, always has their whole diaries right on their phone right now and everything. My God, it's reached the whole world. It's just an instant right now. It's amazing. It's incredible.
It's crazy. It really is. And even like when we had Nader on a couple months ago, he was even saying, like, you know, like he freaked people out. He said he went to a show and he brought flyers for a London show and he was passing them out, and people were like, really? Like flyers?
That's
He's like,
the way it was. That was the way. Yeah. Flyers.
Yeah.
Flyers. And I'm talking about thousands of them, and they'd be all over the streets the next day. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's like, you know, it's cool now where, yes, you can put a flyer up on a social media thing, and with a click of a button you can hit however many thousands of people, but you know, what happened to the intimacy of, and I think we were even saying it was like the original social media, where handing out a flyer and talking about your band and promoting yourself in person.
Exactly. That's what Ricky Rocket was talking about on the panel there with the decline last week. You know, that CC's father ran a printing business, so they were able to pass out 10,000 flyers. They had an edge, you know.
Oh wow,
that's funny.
That is funny. Now,
that's a lot of
when I got emailed to have you come on the show, in the email I was told that you got some pretty wild stories of back in the day, like of Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, some crazy times.
Actually, even before that, one time I was playing in Munich, Germany, doing a show with Ike and Tina Turner there, and I turn over to my right, and I see a guy pulling in with a wheelchair on the side of the stage, and it's Robert Plant in a wheelchair, and John Bonham's with him, and I'm blown away, and we had a little intermission. I went over to introduce myself, John and Robert, and just hearing from Bonham that I was kicking ass was just like I was in awe. Like, and I went back to the hotel with them. We were staying at the same hotel in Munich Hilton there, and it was Tina's birthday actually that night, and I invited them to Tina's birthday, and they came down and hung out with me down there, and then when they were down there, and then they invited me up to their suite upstairs, and I got to hang out with them for the whole evening. That was like one of my mind-blowing experiences in helping. Actually, we were having a lot of fun that night, so it was actually, I can't tell everything what happened actually. So we'll leave it at that.
So, well, how about this? Who were your wildest times with? Were they the wildest with Ike and Tina, Giuffria, or London?
No, I would say, the wildest times was back in the 80s. after the Rainbow would close, I had a condo in Encino at that time, and then there'd be like, seems like there'd be the after party would be over at my condo after the Rainbow closed, and there'd be Motley Crue, Rat would be there, Doc, and Wild Mick Brown, just everybody would be over there. And one night there's even 7 drummers: Jason Bonham, Tommy Lee, Rick Allen, a few others in the same in my house. It was unbelievable, So everybody's sharing their drummer stories. It was incredible. And Tony Thompson, remember from the Power Station?
Right.
Yeah,
now,
there was another one that was there the same night, like 7 badass drummers. It was incredible. And Randy Castillo, formerly from Ozzy, yes, another good friend.
Sure.
God bless Randy too. Yep.
Now, who were some of your favorite drummers back when you were growing up that influenced you to start playing drums?
My favorite drummers were like listening to Gene Krupa and Buddy Rich. It was my first album as a little boy, and and then during the Beatles, I always listened to the rhythm and blues in the 50s there, and then when the Beatles came out in the 60s, that was mind altering, with their stuff. And then what I really liked when they came out was Grand Funk Railroad, Don Brewer from Grand Funk Railroad. That was, when I saw him after graduation in high school, I said, that's where I'm going to be when in 3 more years. I'm going to be up in that big stage like that. In 3 more years, when I graduated high school. And I did that with Ike and Tina, actually. So it was good.
Now, how about, Sam Kinison. Sam was... he was crazy. He was out of control. Sam. There's got to be some good Sam stories.
Sam stories, definitely. But oh my God, which one? Which one? One time, my 40th birthday party, Sam came. I had been getting roasted on my 40th birthday. Actually, back in '92, exactly, yeah. And I had alumni from Ike and Tina Turner, alumni from Jafria, alumni from some other, even Slash couldn't be there, but his fiancée Renee was even there to be in Slash's presence at the time. But then when Sam Kinison came to surprise me for my birthday, and then we ended up hanging out for 2 days and rocking for 2 days after that. So that was a very, very good story there. You had to be there. It was mind-blowing.
to fully experience, yeah. I always remember, all the classic times of Sam going on the Howard Stern show back in the day, and he would always just, show up from, being out partying, all night long or days on end, and he'd show up and he'd still be partying with bottles of champagne or whatever and just still ready to go, and he'd be on the show for 4 hours just out of control, but it'd be just a complete party. Being around him must have been so much fun.
It was unbelievable. The energy, but then you had substance to it. It was just out of control too. My God. Sam was the man. He was the man. There was nobody ever like him. Nobody. And I don't think there ever will be. Nobody. It was unbelievable. And he had a great heart. He was funny, just as funny off stage, as well as on. My God, he was so funny. Oh.
Yeah, being the rock and roll drummer, and now you're with this comedian. It must have been just a nonstop, just piss your pants, friggin' hysterical.
Oh, it was. And then there was a big club in L.A. then called Spice, the Spice Club, and then there was a major jam session on Thursday night, and me and Randy Castillo would be jamming with him. It was a wild thing, and he was actually a really, really great. He had a major passion for playing guitar and singing too, singing. And we were getting ready to do a new album. It was going to be half comedy and half music. And and then we were putting all the music together, and I had all the band guys, the band ready for him, and when he was killed, and that was tragically, there was no more of that. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there'll definitely be nobody else like Sam.
Nope. Are you playing any music tonight from my past?
You know what? I don't got nothing queued up. I suck.
No kidding. You didn't even have the new London CD, did you?
No.
I'll have to make sure you have it next time.
You know what? And I'm going to throw Nadir under the bus. He told me last time he was going to get it for me.
Who told you that?
Nadir, last time when I had him on.
No kidding. I'm going to give him some crap.
Yeah. Look at that.
We'll fix that, babe. Okay.
You know what? What song should we get? Let me see if I can find it, and I'll download it real quick and throw it up there.
Songs from what?
What song would you like to hear?
Do you have Nutbush City Limits from Ike and Tina?
Let me see. What song? What is it called?
Nutbush.
Nutbush.
N-U-T-B-U-S-H. Nutbush. It's about Tina's hometown. There's also Brian Johnson's audition song for AC/DC.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard him talking about it on Rockline one night. I was blown away.
That's pretty crazy. Let me see here. All right. Let's keep talking
Bob
while
Bob Seger did it on his live album too.
Going back to those days, like what are some of your favorite songs that you recorded over the years?
That I recorded over the years was I really enjoyed the learning process with Ike because it was like all kinds of rhythm and blues and rock and everything else was involved. But I started like with Jafria. I started like feeling really, really positive, and really, really just like I knew what I was doing then, and it still applies today. But even our new London stuff, it's really, really sounding good. It's still feeling good, and the energy's still pouring out of me. So, what was your question again?
What were some of your favorite songs you've recorded over the years?
I would say the first Jafria album, definitely, and then actually that London Playa del Rock, because every day was a new song I had to do with the guys on that album because they had a previous drummer, and then everything was on that album was every song was done in one day. Couple of days that knocked out two songs and never even rehearsed with the band at the time. Just rehearsing in the studio prior to recording it. So that was pretty live and as fresh as I could ever get. It was on that London Playa del Rock album. Liberty Paws are producing.
Did you were you playing with London when Lizzie Gray was still in the band?
No, I started with them and Lizzie left I think in '86, and then later had still Brian West had been with the band. I guess it was originally formed from Nikki Sixx before Motley Crue. The band's got quite a history of the lineups, and Nader had started singing with Lizzie in '83, so that's why Nader still carries on the name. But I started with them in '89 actually with the Playa del Rock album.
All right, let me see if I got the right song here. Let's see. You ready?
Yeah. That's 41 years ago already. I can't believe it.
Wow. Now, what do you think to yourself when you hear that song?
This still brings a tear. I mean, that still brings a smile on my face. It's like it reminds me of Tina bringing down soup in the studio for us, to eat, and we're in the studio all day and night and day again and night, and she'd come down and she'd make her a nice nice soup and feed us and stuff, and it brings back memories of like a lot of recording time. So it's kind of a cool thing.
Now, have you ever run into Tina over the years?
No, Tina, she lives in Europe. She moved there like 25 years ago, and
oh, really?
she even gave up her U.S. citizenship. She lives in Switzerland and Nice, France, too. So,
oh, wow.
So she's a European now, but I keep in touch with one of her sons here, Ronnie, all the time.
Cool. Very nice. So, all right, London, 2014, what can we expect? You're saying Europe, what else?
Just some more up-and-coming stuff, and then you can check out our website, londontheband.net, and there'll be I think we'll be getting posted on that site and stuff, so we'll be doing some more stuff, a lot more stuff up and coming here with London, so that's what we're looking forward to. So
you guys had to come out to the East Coast.
Exactly. So we were
I don't think London
Miami.
ever played. Has London ever
we got a
played
great
the East
response
Coast?
out there, and we need to do some more stuff on the East Coast as well. I agree.
Has London
so
ever played on the East
We're in
Coast?
the midst of right now getting we need a great new booking agent. So that's what we're looking for. So if anybody out there knows of a good booking agent, contact on our website, londontheband.net. I'm giving that agents a plug too.
All right. Well, Alan, this has been awesome. I want to thank you so much. And
give you a periodic. I'd love to give you a periodic update. Maybe we'll do another one in the future, brother. All right. It's been really
absolutely.
great.
Absolutely. Keep in touch and let us know what's going on. And especially when you're coming to the East Coast. One band again I've never seen is London.
Where you located?
I'm right in Philly.
Okay, great. Well, hopefully we'll get out that way sometime, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. And before I let you go, just let me let you cut a quick ID. This is Alan Krigger of London, and you're listening to Totally Driven Radio.
Okay. I'm just going to use my last name, Krigger. Is that cool?
That's cool.
Okay.
Go.
This is Krigger from the band London, and you are listening to Totally Driven Radio.
Awesome. Hey, real quick, too, before I let you go, as I was going through, Hollywood All-Star stuff, what's it like with, you're playing side-by-side with Vinny Appice, two drummers. How is that?
It was incredible. Playing with Vinny for 4 years, the first 4 years was unbelievable. He's a monster, one of the hardest-hitting drummers I have ever heard, and he is a great, great, great teacher and innovator. Between him and his brother, you look at all the catalog of rock history between Vinny and Carmine. It's unbelievable.
Sure.
And then we have Carlos Cavazo on guitar from Quiet Riot. And then we even had Jimmy Bain, because Jeff Tilson first started with us the first year. Then he got with Foreigner, and then we've been using Jimmy Bain, and then we got half the Dio band. It's unbelievable.
Right. Yeah, that's why I saw you guys doing some Dio songs, and I'm just like, wow, it just sounded awesome.
Yeah, and Chaz was on vocals and still is from the Jason Bonham band. He's a powerhouse.
Cool. Very, very cool. All right, Krigger, well,
anyway,
thanks so much again.
It's been great talking to you guys, man. And until then, rock hard, and we'll talk in the future, brother, okay?
You got it, my friend.
All right. Great
all right,
talking
take care.
to you, buddy. Over and out.
See ya.
See ya.
All right, there he goes. The legendary drummer, Krigger, Alan Krigger, now of London, full-time of London. Ike and Tina Turner.
Yeah, man.
I never thought we'd be playing Ike and Tina Turner.
No, it's funny because I love how polite you were trying to ask if he ever saw Tina get her ass beat. That's totally what you were trying to ask, though.
but serious. In all serious, whenever I hear of Ike and Tina Turner, that's what I immediately think because of that movie that he would, that they had made. That's exactly what he said. Like the movie and the media made it out to be that way. And I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only person that thinks that way.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you're. No, absolutely.
I mean, okay. Was I wrong to ask that?
No. I was just saying I appreciated how polite you were trying to be about it, though. Like, you were just like, so did you ever see any of the stuff that they might have alluded to where he wasn't so nice? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
You could have just been like, you ever see him smack her?
Oh, it's all wrong. I wonder if Tina's listening over in France, where she's now a citizen. Dude, I never know I knew he was friends with Sam. I didn't know he played with Sam. And
yeah, me no.
Dude, I felt bad. You could just hear the emotion in his voice when he was saying, like, you know, when he found out Sam died. Like, he's supposed to be in the freaking car with him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, that sucks. After the song, too, he sounded like he was getting a little choked up.
Yeah, totally. And if any, I mean, like, dude, I remember, like, really being, like, blown away and, like, really upset when Sam died myself. I mean, I was a huge fan, especially from all the times being on Stern and all. And if you've never heard it, I'm sure it's probably on YouTube. As a matter of fact, let me check. They had did on the Stern show, like, as a tribute to Sam.
Right.
Sounds of Kinnison. Let me see if it's on YouTube. Yeah. Type in the Sounds of Kinnison and just listen to it. I mean, it'll almost bring a tear to your eye. It really will. It's just a really nice tribute to Sam from the Stern show. So check that out. And
and he was probably the first stand-up that I can remember listening to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I remember being a kid, and the two that stand out to me right now are the Sam Kinison cassette that I had, and of course Eddie Murphy Raw.
Oh, what a freaking masterpiece that is.